Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Oh my god, I'm speechless. But before I get into my review, if you're new to the channel, hello and welcome. I summarize and review the latest by Yanlış and Sensual couple my episodes. Say what I liked, what I didn't like, what I noticed, what I think might happen next. If you like these kinds of videos, subscribe to my channel and we will meet on a weekly basis. Before I get into the amazing Ezgi and Özgür storyline, let's talk a little bit about the side storyline. So first we have Levent and Cansu. Levent is missing Cansu, obviously. When he woke up, he started crying. It was hilarious, and then he was like, okay, I have to do this, I have to face my fear, I have to talk with my daughter. He sets up a meeting with Zeynep. Zeynep is smarter than I thought, because he was desperately trying to explain the fact that men and women can get together and they fall in love, blah blah blah. It was really awkward, but then she kind of saved the moment and was like, okay, I knew it all along that you were together, so what's the big deal? And then she starts talking about marriage, like him marrying Cansu and wanting to meet her, and it was like you could really see Levent being relieved that Zeynep accepted Cansu. He's really happy, he wants to tell it to Cansu, catches up with her in the elevator, actually stops the elevator, tells her everything. She's like, well, I don't care anymore, I cared back in the day, but now I'm really happy that she said that, but it's nothing really exciting for me anymore. Then she realizes that the elevator actually stopped. She gets almost a panic attack. Anyways, later when she's talking to Dennis, she's like, well, he was really sad, blah blah blah. So she was kind of feeling bad for him, and she really wants to give him a second chance, but still she's really strong and firm that she has to be strong to prove her point. One day she meets up with Ezgi and Dennis. They stay a little bit longer, like Dennis and Cansu. She wants to call Levent. Levent is actually also at La Gabia. He gets in. Emre is his new friend. There's this group of girls coming in being really look at me, mama, because Ezgi comes and asks them if they have a reservation, and she's like, me, a reservation? Do you know who I am? I know Özgür, Gizem comes and is like, oh, of course, we have a table for you, come along. And that main girl, she knows Levent because he changed everything about her apparently, and invites him to sit at their table. He has the time of his life, is talking to them, having fun with them. That's when Cansu calls him. He doesn't answer because he doesn't hear anything. She wants to go home. Dennis sees Levent, turns Cansu to Levent. Cansu gets really angry and frustrated, and that's when the gang slowly starts to gather and observe Levent and what he's doing. So first it's just Cansu and Dennis, then Ezgi and Emre come as well. After that, Özgür, and the main girl notices Özgür, waves at him. That's when Levent sees Cansu as well, goes to Cansu, tries to explain himself, but he gets deeper and deeper and deeper in shite. I was like, stop Levent, you're making it worse. The more words you say, the worse it gets. Dennis comes as well. Ozan comes as well, sits next to Dennis. Dennis is kind of like, oh, I don't care about what's happening here anymore, I care about Ozan. Cansu wants to go home, tells Dennis to get up. Dennis is like, well, I don't want to go home already, but then she's like, okay, we will go home, because she still wanted to spend some time with Ozan. Anyways, Cansu and Dennis are waiting outside. Dennis wants to get home, but Cansu is like, no, I'm not going home until I see who Levent is going home with. So she waits for Levent to come. Levent gets kind of a briefing from Özgür, the relationship god, and he tells Levent, go after her, chase her, blah blah blah, it was jealousy. Levent goes outside, tries to talk to Cansu. Cansu is like, no, I don't want to talk to you, blah blah blah, and then he picks her up. And I was like, okay, she will get really mad, but what is her reaction? She's like liking what Levent is doing. The next day she wakes up in his bed. He's nowhere to be seen. She gets quite frustrated, being like, okay, back at square one. But what happened? Levent appears with breakfast, and it was so adorable, it was so cute. And that's when Cansu talks about the surprise birthday party for Ezgi, and that Levent is also invited to that party. And Levent is like, well, will Özgür also be there, because it will kind of get awkward. And she's like, no, Özgür, why, because Serdar organized it. What does Özgür has to do with that? Blah blah blah. She still doesn't like Özgür that much, because in this episode Levent kind of warmed up to Özgür, and even Deniz, who was so negative towards Özgür, she also tries to change Cansu's mind and telling her that she has a bad feeling about this whole surprise party, which I'm going to talk later about. Then we have Ozan and Deniz. Oh my god, like how adorable were they? Him walking her home, them eating mussels on the street. Those scenes were so adorable, and then they kind of get to Deniz's place. She invites him in, but he's like, no, blah blah blah. He kind of refuses. He waits till she's inside, and God, like how considerate are you? Like so adorable. And then the next morning when he's at the market buying food, he sees cherries and he gets a basket, fills it up, brings it to Deniz's office actually, and then he's like, well, I remember us climbing up cherry trees, blah blah blah. I hope you still like them. It was just so adorable, like how adorable. I think we can move on to the main storyline, Ezgi and Özgür, and the mothers and Serdar sprinkled in between. So the episode starts with the amazing kiss from last episode, but what I noticed is that this kiss was way shorter and a little bit different. Anyways, Haydar calls Özgür telling him that the mothers are fighting in his apartment, blah blah blah, so they quickly drive back. Sevim, Fitnat and Nevim are having a cat fight, both of them blaming the other one, and then Nevim is like, well, this was all a lie, they lied to you, it was all a game, it's not true, she actually has a boyfriend and he's a doctor. And Sevim is almost fainting. Then Özgür and Ezgi are coming, trying to separate the mothers. Özgür actually picking Sevim and Fitnat up and bringing them somewhere else. Nevim being so livid with Ezgi, like she really portrays that disappointed, angry mother, and it hurts me to see Ezgi like suffering so much. Nevim is like, I don't recognize you anymore since Özgür entered your life, blah blah blah. I felt so sorry for Ezgi, and she was like, you will come back with me if you don't quit your job, blah blah blah. Then we have Özgür telling Fitnat and Sevim the whole truth, that it was all a game, blah blah blah. Sevim being really frustrated and angry, how could he do that? But the way it was filmed, like Özgür from kind of a top angle, it seemed to me like an interrogation, so it was kind of interesting to see the way it was filmed. He was trying to put the whole blame on him because actually it was his idea, but Sevim and Fitnat are not leaving Ezgi alone. They keep blaming her for everything, for lying, for playing this game, for being such a great actress, blah blah blah. After that we see Özgür not being able to sleep, sneaking out, sending Ezgi a message that he's on the terrace, and they reminded me of teenagers sneaking out, trying to hide their relationship from their parents, which they actually are. Then they meet up and he's backing her up towards the pool. Ezgi actually saying that Nevim is really angry, and he's like, just because of the lie, and she's like, no, because she's scared that I will fall in love with you. And then he's like, well, will you fall in love with it? Like, it was so adorable. And then we get the scene from the trailer where he jumps into the pool with her. Nevim kind of wakes up, goes outside, looks for Ezgi. Ezgi pushes Özgür under the water. I was like, oh my god, like he will die, it's way too long, they were talking way too much. So Ezgi is trying to get Nevim away so that she can get a towel for her. I was kind of surprised, like how did Özgür manage to go from one side of the pool to the opposite corner kind of, and then he had no trouble like being breathless, and then they kissed goodbye, and it was like so quick but at the same time so amazing. So Nevim brings her the towel and Özgür sneaks back in. Fitnat wakes up and is quite suspicious of his justification, like why he's that wet. And then she goes outside, sees Ezgi also wet from head to toe, and she's like, okay. The next day Nevim tells Ezgi that she will move out of this place because she doesn't want Ezgi near Özgür. Also that she has to quit her job. Ezgi is like, no, I can't do that, blah blah blah, I need money. money for a new apartment. There's this whole back and forth. Anyways, Özgür messages Ezgi that he's at the parking lot, so he drives Ezgi to work. There they talk about their plan, what they're going to do about their mothers, blah blah blah, and that's when he tells her that it's actually a month notice, so she can't quit her job that quickly. And in that time he tries to convince Nevim that it's not just an act, it was in the beginning, but there are real feelings between them, and she's really happy about it. So Özgür has a meeting with, I think, Hakan or so, where he talks about this new restaurant where they need the license for, because otherwise they lose even more money. And then Özgür is like, well, did you do what I asked you to? And he gives, like, this guy gives Özgür Ezgi's CV, and also tells Özgür that the notice is actually 15 days and not a month. And Özgür is really frustrated, like, come on, let's do a month out of it. And he's like, no, it's the law, we can't do this, blah blah blah. And then Özgür sees that it's Ezgi's birthday soon, so that's when he starts planning this whole surprise for her. Then we see Serdar calling Nevim, wanting to meet up with her, and he asks if Nevim has something planned for Ezgi's birthday, and she's like, no, because she didn't really have time, so it's just a small dinner between her family and, like, the girls. And that's when he gets the idea and is like, well, with your permission, I will organize a surprise birthday party for Ezgi. And I was like, you know why I think he did that? He wants to kind of get Nevim on his side, which he already has. He just wants those mommy points, and I'm like... Then we see Özgür talking to a planner for this whole surprise. Ezgi comes in. That's when he tells her about this deadline, that it's actually 15 days. And then he says, I still need to find a replacement for you, but because you're so special, I can't find a replacement for you that quickly. So it extends, this whole process extends itself. And she's really happy because he compliments her and says that she is irreplaceable, blah blah blah. And Emre actually barges in when they're about to kiss, and I was like, oh my god, we get another kiss. But no, Emre comes in, and Emre is like, I got so confused, I wanted to go somewhere else, but all the doors are the same, blah blah blah, and this room is so cramped. And Ezgi is so flustered. Then we also see Serdar going to this hotel, looking at the location, and then a man like Tolga something is looking for him, or he wants to talk to that man. He gets brought into this meeting room where he also sees Yeşim's article about Özgür, and that's when he's like, well, what's the connection between Özgür and Tolga? Then we have Özgür going to that special place, looking around, thinking about Ezgi finding her CV in Özgür's office, thinking about, oh my god, will he do something for my birthday? Will he surprise me? Oh no, don't get your hopes up, blah blah blah. She then meets with Nevim. Emre is actually watching them, and it was so awkward, but at the same time so funny. Nevim tells Ezgi that she has to quit, that she didn't back down of this whole moving topic, and that she has something planned for Ezgi's birthday. And then she sees Özgür and she's like, look at me, nobody else is going to come to this dinner, do you understand me? So she doesn't want Özgür to be there as well. Özgür comes, tries to apologize in name of Fitnat and Sevim for what happened last night, and Nevim is quite firm and is like, nothing like that ever happened to me, people talking like that to me, so I accept your apology, but I'm not backing down from the fact that Ezgi is going to move out. So he was trying to convince Nevim to soften up a bit, and then when he catches Emre watching them, it was really funny. Then we have once again a scene of Ezgi and Özgür in his office, her showing him some pictures, him being quite distracted, her getting closer to him, them again about to kiss, and once again Emre is coming in, and I'm like, what? And that's when Özgür gets really angry and is like, don't you know how to knock? I mean, seriously. And Emre is talking nonsense, but at the same time he's like, okay, I just wanted to inform you that Sevim and Fitnat are here, blah blah blah. And that's when Özgür and Ezgi are coming outside like arm in arm, and Sevim and Fitnat don't like what they're seeing, so they're shooting daggers at Ezgi. Fitnat is kind of questioning Ezgi about this whole pool incident last night, and also the fact that Nevim kind of lied to them, or what's the deal with this whole boyfriend thing, because her mother said that she has a boyfriend. Ezgi is like, no, it's not true, I don't have a boyfriend, and Özgür gets really angry. After some time it gets too much for Ezgi, so she leaves. Sevim keeps talking badly about her, and Özgür gets really frustrated and tries to set the record straight, and is like, well, what are you talking about? You know, there can't be another boyfriend because we already are in a relationship. And that's when Sevim almost faints. Then we see Cansu getting an invitation from Serdar, and that's when you can really see that Cansu is pro Serdar, and Deniz, for the first time, she's like, I don't have a great feeling about it. I think that Ezgi doesn't like Serdar that much because I know what she feels for Özgür, so she's not really convinced that Ezgi would like that. Then we see Fitnat and Sevim going home, seeing Haydar, and them trying to kind of hypnotize him, trying to get information from Haydar, because they kind of find out that he knows who goes in, who goes out, who's with whom. So Fitnat actually shows a picture of Gizem because she wants to set Gizem and Emre up, and then she uses that picture to kind of lure Haydar in to tell them the name of Ezgi's boyfriend, and he actually says it. They go and search him on the internet. They actually find a picture of him, and then the bomb drops. They see it's actually the guy who danced with Ezgi at the wedding, and they're like, oh my god, she's such a great actress, she did it in front of our eyes, blah blah blah, being all drama queens. Then we also see Serdar buying this necklace for Ezgi. I mean, it is a pretty necklace for somebody who would wear it with a gown or something, but it is way too much for Ezgi. She's way more simple than that, and it just shows that he doesn't really know Ezgi. While this whole Levent Cansu thing is happening at Lagabia, we have Nevim and Ünal talking on the terrace about Serdar and how happy they are that Ezgi found this guy, and he's the doctor of the year because he's on the magazine cover, and thank god she's not with the other guy from the magazine like Mr. Wrong. And then Sevim and Fitnat also come out, and Nevim, because she hates them so much, is like, okay, look at me, Ünal. And then she fakes talks with her friend where she's like, oh my god, honey, look, Ezgi's boyfriend Serdar organized this amazing surprise party for Ezgi, and let me tell you, a proposal is not far away, blah blah blah, and just kind of taunting Sevim and Fitnat, and it kind of gets to them. Nevim also says the location, but Fitnat actually misspelled it, so when they're trying to find this Lalu place, they actually go to a completely different place because they want to take pictures of Ezgi in action with another guy and show it to Özgür, being like, see, she's cheating on you, blah blah blah. So then we see Ezgi being all happy and excited that it's her birthday. She goes to work. Özgür is actually preparing a present for her, so we see this box and we see him putting something white in, but we don't really see what it is, so I do have a feeling that it's the radio from the island they were stranded on when they were in Göçke. Then he also puts a small package in, so I do think that it's a bracelet like Ezgi got from Sevim because she was so sad to give it back. So I do think that it's a bracelet, that radio, and then those flowers. But it's quite adorable because Ozan actually barges in, and Özgür is like, what is happening? Why is everybody coming in like that? And Ozan takes the moment and kind of makes fun of Özgür being such a romantic guy, because in the past he was like somebody who didn't care about the birthdays of his girlfriends or the ones he was dating, and now he's preparing a surprise birthday party for a girl and also a present. So it was really funny to see him kind of making fun of Özgür, and then also seeing Özgür's facial expression. It was so hilarious. Oh my god, I completely forgot. Like after the night when Levent did this thing, Ezgi kept looking at this table of women because Özgür sat with them, and I was like, oh my god, Özgür, don't do the same mistake. So she gets kind of frustrated. Özgür stands up, walks away. The main girl also walks away. She's like, oh my god, I turn around and you two are gone. But he's actually behind her. So then he's like, okay, are you jealous, blah blah blah, do you want to get home? And then the girls are like, come on Özgür, come back, you have to finish the story, blah blah blah. So she's like, okay, let's go home. They go home, they go into the elevator, they are about to kiss, and I was like, oh my god, another kiss. But who comes in? Haydar. And Özgür was so frustrated, so angry, like the looks he was giving Haydar. Haydar was so uncomfortable, and Özgür actually pushed another button so that Haydar couldn't get outside. It was so hilarious. And then we actually get the kiss in the hallway, and Ezgi is like, oh my god, he really prepared something for me for my birthday, because Özgür was asking her if she has time tomorrow, but she's like, no, she has to have dinner with her family and the girls, but at 10 she will be free. She's really excited because she has a feeling that he prepared something for her, and I was like, oh my god, yes he has, girl, be prepared, because it's so romantic. Anyways, the next day they meet up at the elevator. He looks her up and down, and then when the elevator comes, Haydar is inside. I was like, oh my god, did that guy actually sleep in the elevator? But Özgür is kind of like, don't come inside, do you want to come inside? And Haydar is like, no, I have to do something over here. No, I won't come into the elevator. But as soon as they arrive at La Gabia, Dennis is also there, quite upset because a folder disappeared. Of course a folder disappeared because Irem took it away, and that's a very important folder because without them and without the documents being complete, they can't get the license for the second restaurant. So Dennis, Ezgi, Özgür and Ozan are trying to find out what happened with this folder and with the documents, because they were complete. So who did this? Who would harm Özgür? He talks to a friend who's kind of a detective or something, because he knows everything apparently. Then we have this whole party thing. So Ezgi goes to the location. She expects a dinner, but everybody is actually there, and while they're waiting for Ezgi, Dennis is the only one being kind of like, okay, I don't really have a great feeling about this. I don't think that Ezgi would appreciate us being here and this whole surprise party. And Cansu is like, oh my god, don't be like that. In the meantime, Özgür checks out the location and how it's decorated, and it was so nicely decorated, like so romantic. But he gets a call from his friend, and he says, okay, the guy who's behind all of this license problem is Tolga something something. Apparently Özgür knows him because his reaction is like, where is he? So there is something, a little mystery. Who is this Tolga guy? Özgür wants to know where he is, drives to the hotel as soon as he gets the information. It's the same hotel where Ezgi's birthday party is held. He goes inside, he's like, I want to talk to Tolga, blah blah blah, because the woman is like, are you here for the birthday party? But he's like dismissing her. In the meantime, Ezgi comes. She's really surprised when she's looking around who's there. She gets kind of a sad look, kind of disappointed that Özgür is not there, because she actually thought that Özgür would plan this thing. So she goes there, everybody is celebrating her. Nevim telling Ezgi that Serdar actually organized everything, and she gets more and more disappointed. That's also when Serdar gives her the necklace. He's like, for you only the best. And I was like, what? Seriously, she was looking so awkward, and I think Levent and Dennis were the only ones picking up on her awkwardness, on her not liking to be there in this moment. Cansu is kind of like happy that it's Serdar, but at the same time seeing that she's not happy, so she was like switching. But Dennis and Levent, you didn't see them with a smile when she got the necklace. Özgür actually, he was about to walk past, but he sees that party. He recognizes Ezgi. He sees Serdar putting the necklace on her, kissing her cheek. I was like, oh my god, like why are you torturing yourself? I mean, kind of thank god that Levent came and tried to push Özgür away and take him away, being like, oh, I have a pain, can you help me, blah blah blah. So I do think that Levent softened up to Özgür and will also be a person to help get Ezgi and Özgür back. Serdar sees it, he's very pleased. goes after Özgür, and then he starts talking, and it was so much BS. I was getting so angry when he said this thing about the main guy got the main girl, blah blah blah, and then Özgür is like, does the main girl actually know that? And he's like, well, if the main girl didn't know, then she wouldn't be here, but look at her, she's here. And when we drove here together, she was like, thank you so much for the most amazing, unforgettable day ever. Even Levent is like, okay, like, this is too much, you're exaggerating, trying to stop Serdar, but Serdar is like, I'm not done here. So he pushes this whole thing on Özgür that thank you for showing Ezgi that you're Mr. Wrong and that you pushed her towards me, and thank God Özgür punched him, and I was like, yes! Then we see Özgür at his car, kind of gathering himself, his thoughts, and then driving off quite quickly. And I think that's when he was like, okay, scrap all of it, throw this whole surprise for Ezgi away, it's over between us. So Serdar really got into his head. In the meantime, we see Ezgi getting really angry with Cansu and Deniz, being like, how could you do that? How could you think that I would actually love this? This is way too much, blah blah blah. She gets really angry. Serdar comes, Ezgi wants to go away, Serdar goes after her. She gives him the necklace back, is like, I can't accept it, that's way too much, and I'm sorry that I made you think that you had a chance with me and that I got your hopes up. So kind of making it clear for him that she doesn't like him, and then she walks away. She actually arrives at La Gabia. Özgür is also there, but as soon as you see Özgür, you can see he turned into stone, he turned cold towards her. He will push her away, like so far away with so much pressure, and I felt so sorry for her because she started crying, and then him being like, well, what are we actually doing the past 2 days? This is not love, blah blah blah. You don't have to come to work tomorrow, you can go back home, blah blah blah. Like such hurtful things, and those words even hurt me. I was like, how can you be like that? Seriously, why are you doing that? And then when they filmed Ezgi's hand and it moved from this to this, like she was opening it up, it kind of gave me the sensation that it was her last straw. This was the sign that she was giving up, and then she walks away and starts crying her eyes out outside. Him standing behind her, watching her, and I'm like, Özgür, it's way too late. Like, dude, you messed up big time. Like, why would you do that? Why would you show her that you're not different than Soner, than all the other guys that cheated on her, that disappointed her? Why would you do that? You kind of saw that he regrets it, but I'm like, no, you should feel the pain. You should suffer as well as she suffered when she heard your words. Anyways, that's the end. Thank God we got a trailer. So we have Nevim calling Fitnat and Sevim snakes, Ezgi begging them to let her family alone. Then we also see Özgür kind of in a club because he has the same tan shirt on. So I do think it's the same night where he's trying to drink his brains away, get drunk, maybe even have a one-night stand, maybe, I don't know. I thought, what if Yeşim will kind of use this whole Ezgi Özgür breakup and make her move, or even Gizem, and trying to get his mind off of Ezgi, and then Ezgi seeing it and her being even more hurt. But I really do hope that Özgür is not that stupid. Then we also see Ezgi and Özgür talking, him actually being at Ezgi's parents' restaurant kind of thing, bed and breakfast, whatever they have, and then she tells him that without trust there's no love, and of course if you don't trust me there's no love between us. And oh my god, no! And her walking away, him looking after her. And then we also get this whole new character, and he comes into La Gabia and is like, say hello to your new boss. And I'm like, wait, what? Did I just hear that right? What? But from all the information we got online and leaks, he is Özgür's cousin from America. I don't know, do we actually know his name? Because what if he's Tolga? What if Tolga wants to destroy Özgür and wants to get all the money? What if he's a jealous cousin? Because now that Serdar got rejected, he doesn't really serve any more purpose. Like, Ezgi doesn't want him. Why is he here? I don't know. So he's kind of, okay, you're out of the picture. What if the new guy gets closer to Ezgi. Ezgi starts liking him as a friend, but Özgür interprets it as them getting closer together as a couple. He gets jealous. He gets with Yeşim or Gizem. It gets Ezgi way more sad and angry and frustrated and disappointed. I think that Ozan will be the one who will tell everybody else that Özgür actually had a present prepared for Ezgi and a surprise birthday party or like a surprise dinner with her. Maybe that will get the gang. Of course, him and Deniz will work together, that's for sure, because now we get to see that Deniz is more and more leaning towards Özgür than to Serdar. I also do think that Levent will help Deniz and Özgür, trying to convince Cansu that Özgür is the right one for Ezgi, because she will see Ezgi suffer a lot. Is there anything else that I can say? Fitnat and Sevim will be really happy to get Ezgi away from Özgür. I think that they will suffer because Özgür will treat them badly, I believe, out of frustration, out of pain. I think that's all. If I forgot anything, I'm really sorry. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on this amazing episode. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Ring the bell to be notified whenever I post something, and I will see you next time. Bye!